Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I am Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg.
And I am loving the weather. It's put me in a really good mood.
Fantastic.
I'm in a very good mood today.
It is.
Potentially. And then we'll see.
It makes me want to
I might change as the day goes along.
It makes me want to do all the things
that
I really don't want to do.
Well, it makes me want to just stay at home and do things around my yard. And,
right. So I'm talking about planting flowers and.
Yeah. So I don't really.
That.
You know what? I'm going to take that back. It doesn't make me want to do things around my yard because I don't do things in the yard. I don't like to get dirty. That's sad. I hate when dirt. I'm not one of those people that likes to be out in a garden and planting and things like that. I know a lot of people love that and they cutting grass I love cutting grass. No, that's not me. But I wouldn't mind laying out in my yard.
So that's different. So you
waiting
just want
for
to lay out
pools.
The sunshine.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the pools to open, things like that. But no, I love this time of year. That spring leading into summer is one of my favorite times of year. So it makes me excited to see that we're kind of getting there, and
especially when there's some sunshine with it, not just the cloudy.
Yeah, and especially when there are also so many fun things to do outside activities that are coming up, and
like putt-putt.
Yes. So we have our CVABC Open putt-putt tournament next Tuesday.
6 days.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. And we've actually had quite a few teams signing up, people saying that they're going to come out and play. And we have, a lot of businesses that signed on to do whole sponsorship and things like that. So it's always a fun night because you're just coming out and playing putt-putt. There's no, rhyme or reason to it. There's no.
It's not a high stress thing.
It's not. It's one of the.
Unless you're very competitive.
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of the events that we host that for me is very laid back. I was talking to Megan, my office manager yesterday, and she was like, well, what all do we have to go out there and do Monday? How much setup? And I was like, it's really not that difficult. We show up, we stick the whole sponsors in the ground, and away we go. It's putt-putt. It kind of runs itself, and you just kind of have fun and talk with the teams that are out there, and, eat some pizza and drink some soda. And overall, it's just a fun event. Very stress-free. So if you're listening and you want to come out on Tuesday night and just have a good time playing putt-putt, it's a very family-friendly event that we do. You can bring your kids as part of your team. You can sign up for a team of 2 or a team of 4. And your team includes unlimited golf. It also includes pizza for your team and sodas for your team. So, it's from 3 to 8. So get the kids out of school, get them home. If they have homework, have them do their homework, and then bring them out to putt-putt and play a couple rounds of golf and grab some dinner while you're there, and know that, the money's going back to a good cause. We raise money for education in the trade fields, and it's just it's just kind of a win-win, fun activity.
Yeah.
So
and it's not supposed to rain Tuesday, so
right now it's not supposed to. We've kind of lucked out. We've had a couple of years where it's been chilly, but we've not really had.
Well, the high of that day is going to be 80, so it's going to be nice and it's going to be a little overcast, so it'll be not too bright, but still wear your sunscreen.
And you can actually check out, we just had our Living in the Heart of Virginia segment post for the event yesterday. So if you go online to Living in the Heart of Virginia, myself and Marcus with Pool Fullin', who is our title sponsor for this event, we're out there with Emily doing some putt-putt and, kind of showcasing what the event's all about. So you can get more information there as well as on our website.
I saw Emily's post about Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah.
She's really funny when you're doing shows with her. But there's also, a couple of quick things coming up right now, this week, tomorrow through Saturday, that if you're out and about, whether it's for business or pleasure, you can do. So tomorrow we have a coffee talk in Roanoke Ventnor at R&D Coffee.
Yeah.
Then we also have our big ribbon cutting palooza that we are co-hosting with the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce in the town of Bedford.
Yep.
Happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Bedford Chamber office. So we have quite a few business owners that don't have brick and mortar stores, so can't necessarily have that ribbon cutting in front of their place of business. So we're hosting this big ribbon cutting palooza where we're going to be cutting ribbons for each business, and we've got some giveaways and 10% off discount coupons for lunch in our area from quite a few restaurants,
right,
that you can go and grab lunch after the ribbon cutting palooza. So we are excited about that. So come on out and support them. And then we also have coming up on Saturday the Peaks Art, Wine, and Beer Festival being held at the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center. And that's out on Simons Mill Road here in the Thaxton area. And they were on last week's show and talking about the event. And I went out there this week. We did an LHV for that as well. That'll air, I think, tomorrow. But they've put a lot of work into it. So there's a lot of, some wineries, some breweries that'll be there, some distributors, and some great bands that are going to be playing. So, and here, this is really cool. And I just found this out.
Okay.
So I just found this out yesterday when I was talking to them. And honestly, I think it's a brilliant idea. So most wine festivals you go to, let's just say, you have to buy like a tasting ticket. It can range from $25 to $30 depending on the festival. And then they have like what they call their designated driver ticket where you pay like $10 and you don't get to taste anything. You're just there to enjoy
the music and the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that. I mean, that's happening. They have that. But the designated driver ticket for this event is not classed a designated driver ticket. It is classed a general admission ticket. So what does that mean? What that means is that you could come out and purchase a $10 general admission ticket and still go to a winery of your choice that you want and still buy a glass or a bottle. You just can't do the all around tasting.
I gotcha.
So I personally think that's awesome because I know there are some wine festivals I go to every year and I know which wine I like and I know which wine I don't like. And, you still have to pay that $25 fee to come in and taste, which is good if you want to go and actually taste all the wine. But for someone who's maybe been going year after year and hey, I'm going to this vineyard and I know I'm going to get this glass of wine.
Right. You could just go and get your favorite.
Yes. And you don't have to pay a $25 tasting ticket. So in my opinion, what that does is it allows you to go in and not pay as high of a entry, but you're going to be able to spend that money more so on the local wines and with the wineries and the artisans and things like that. Pretty cool. I think it's brilliant.
That is cool.
And so I like that idea. So they will have a separate tag for people that are under the age of 21 that are coming, like just designated driver, that sort of thing. But I really like that idea. And so you should go out. If you're still interested in tickets, you can get them online at the Peaks Retreat and Adventure Center's website. You can purchase them the day of, but they are $5 more on Saturday. So you're going to want to get it prior to if you plan on attending.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of there's lots to do in the next couple days.
There's also a lunch and learn tomorrow with
Nope. Actually, I'm gonna say lunch and learn tomorrow actually has been postponed.
Okay. Excellent.
So we are not doing that. But then there is also a coffee talk here in Bedford Friday morning.
There is.
At Lady Legacy of Bedford.
Yeah, that should be a cool event.
So many things to do. I'm really tired right now. So see, this is why I should go home today and lay out in my yard. I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm going to work.
Okay.
I promise. Okay. I'm going to the office. But anyway, so we have two guests on the show with us today, and we are going to start off with guest number one. And I am really excited to learn more about what she does. I know you and I've had some one-on-one conversations, but we are talking with Lisa Best and with Best Aesthetics. And how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Well, I'm really glad to have you here. Lisa is a relatively newer member of the CVABC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I just want to kind of start off with asking about your story and how you got started, how you got into aesthetics.
Okay. So I've been a PA or physician assistant for about 25 years. I've started off in the medical field in orthopedics. When my son, who's now 20 years old, was about 2, I started having that mom guilt about not spending enough time with him. And I always had an interest in aesthetics. I have a very art side to me. I like fixing things. I like making things better. Like making things look better. You wouldn't think that looking at my garden, but
no garden shame here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was one of the great things about orthopedics, fixing things. But the aesthetic side, making helping improve things, helping people feel better about themselves. So about 18 years ago now, I was hired by a group, and the plan was for me to do aesthetics for them. And once I went to work for them, the plans started to change on their end, and they decided that really wasn't what they wanted to do. And so they said, well, we've decided that that's not where we want to go. And so then I was like, wow, I got in this place and I'm in a job now that's not really where I want to be. And lucky for me, my orthopedic attending that I've been working with now for about 20 years called me and said, hey, don't you want to come back and work for me? And I was like, yeah, I do. I want to go back and work with somebody that is a really upstanding guy, and that's somebody that, I really look up to. So I knew that wasn't the time for me to do it, and that at that moment I knew that it was a time where I was going to have to be the one that dictated when I started into aesthetics, and that I couldn't rely on somebody else to dictate that for me. So, I just kind of put it on the back burner. My son's now in college. He's finishing his sophomore year, and he's a business major. And he really looks up to my father, who owns his own business, who's owns a construction company. And my son said that he wanted to do the same thing, that he wanted to own his own business. And I started thinking to myself, it's about time that I get off the fence. And, if my son can dream it, his mom can do it too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a friend that owns her own aesthetics business in Leesburg, Virginia. And she's a physician assistant, and she kind of pushed me off the fence. And so she said, you can do it. And she put me into the training. She started making the connections for me. She pointed me in the right direction as to what type of training I needed to start into. And within one phone call, we had the name of the business, the Instagram handle, my email address, which I regret that because it's so long, but then that's how I got started.
Okay. And what kind of training does it take to do? I can't say the word. So
aesthetics.
Yeah, aesthetics.
So it's a lot of hands-on training. I have been to lots of clinics, and I've even gone to like cadaver anatomy courses where we learn facial anatomy and how to do injections, because there's a lot of stuff about the face where there's nerves and arteries that you need to learn how to avoid,
right?
Because there can be serious complications with those kind of things when you're talking about injecting things like hyaluronic acid fillers and Botox and those kind of things around those areas. There's a lot of one-on-one. I had a kind of like almost a personal trainer that worked with me for a while, teaching me some of the ins and outs and little pearls. I followed my friend around in her clinic, kind of learning the business side, learning the kind of how to talk to aesthetic patients and those kind of things. And then just kind of also the years of medical practice in orthopedics, just learning how to refine just doing injections and trying to make them as easy as possible on patients.
So I know when you and I sat down and talked at my office, we
Mm-hmm.
were, kind of talking about, your office
Yes.
and your space. And I think a lot of people that they think about aesthetics or even medical in general, like just going to a doctor's office, they always think it's very like sterile
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you though are trying to make your space something different. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, my space, we've kind of decided that it's more like the girlfriend's club. It's a place where you can kind of come, relax, laugh. We have a lot of laughter in our office, and just feel good. Not only rejuvenate your skin, but rejuvenate your soul. It's very comfortable. A lot of the aesthetics are like look cold, black and white, and steel. Ours are, my office is more like warm colors, brown,
Mm-hmm.
gold, those kind of things. And so you're sitting in comfortable chairs. You're there to feel better about yourself, and you're there to feel good. And it's I've had people tell me when they've gone into aesthetic offices that they feel like they have to dress a certain way or they have to look a certain way. And I was always, when I was growing up, I had several challenges in my life when I was growing up and never kind of fit into like the in crowd. And so I wanted to make something where everybody who just felt like they were like a regular person could really fit in and feel like that they were welcome anywhere. Whether, you are just that regular person or you like dressing up. You
Mm-hmm.
can come in your pajamas and like you just went to Walmart. Or you can, you can dress up and come. There's no judgment.
Well, I also think that potentially helps with someone's nerves, especially if they're like coming for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it can be intimidating to have somebody poking a needle or doing something into your face, I would think. And so I get high anxiety anyway with just walking across the street sometimes. So, having like a needle coming at me, I think if I was in more of a relaxed space leading into it instead of kind of that sterile
and comfortable.
Yeah.
Like not just with the environment, but also comfortable clothes, things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And we have mainly in the office, it's just me. I do have an assistant that helps me on Wednesdays in the afternoons. Darlene, she comes by and helps. So, and then I have two girls that will help me with some of my social media, and they just make things fun. And so, yeah, it's just like you're part of our family, and you're just, we offer memberships for our that you can purchase to get discounts throughout the year. And you buy an annual membership and you get discounts on Botox and filler and skincare and chemical peels. And then you also get a small skincare set. And so I have lots of people come in and say, I want to be part of the club. I want to join the club. And so that just makes me feel really good that we have this little club going on at our office.
Very cool. So what are your hours at your office?
So right now, I'm only open 2 days a week.
Okay.
I'm open Wednesdays and Saturdays. I still work full time with orthopedics.
Right.
I'm trying to build my clientele. I just opened in January, at the end of January.
Oh, so fairly new.
Yeah. So in the hopes that hopefully I can build my clientele. So eventually I'll go full time to 4 to 5 days a week. But right now, mainly Wednesdays, usually 12 to about 8 o'clock to try to help those people that work and want to come in later. And then on Saturdays for part of the day, usually from about 9:30 to 2 or 3, just depending on how many people.
And is this something where people should come by and just check it out, or should they make an appointment, or?
A lot of most of the time, it's better if they make an appointment.
Okay.
But I have lots of people that message me on Instagram and Facebook, and will if I have a gap in my schedule, I'll just tell them to come on by. A lot of times, I'm usually, if I'm by myself and with a patient, I don't have time to spend with somebody to
Right.
talk to them. So I'll just tell them, look, I've got a gap in my schedule here. If you've got time, you can come by and we'll chat. If not, we can find another time to meet.
Okay. Excellent.
And I know you've touched on a couple of them just while we've been talking, but what are some of the products and services you offer
Okay.
at your shop?
Yes. So right now, when I opened the practice, I started with neuromodulators, which is Botox. I am I choose Allergan products, so that's Botox, the hyaluronic acid fillers, which are the Juvederm products, and then I use chemical peels, um, which help kind of exfoliate and soften and reduce wrinkles and that kind of stuff. And then I do skincare and use the Epicutis line of skincare, and then Skin Medica, which is also part of Allergan. I just came back from a medical spa show in Las Vegas, where that was a lot of education and training. And so I'm going to start offering, once we can kind of get things together as far as pricing and things like that, we're going to start doing some red light therapy. And then we'll also be doing some microneedling or dermabrasion, just as kind of part of the whole realm of skincare, which is on the kind of the lower end of or for more affordable end of pricing for skincare.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like higher end skincare, like lasers and that kind of thing, that's to come. But I'm really excited about the red light infrared therapy.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that can do. And one of my goals is to help patients with cancer, and or who have been affected by like brain tumors, and to help with people that are going through like chemotherapy, because not only does it tear on you physically, but it tears on you emotionally
Yeah.
as well. And so it really does a toll on your skin, and your skin dries. Then also you start to have neuropathy in your hands and feet from the chemotherapy. And the red light therapy has been shown to help with the help improve your skin, but also help control pain and help with neuropathies in the hands and feet. And so I've applied for grants to try to get scholarships for for patients like that to offer that in my office as well.
That's awesome.
See, I'm excited for the microdermabrasion, or because I have like a brown. I never can remember what cheek it's
I don't
on.
know, I can't see, it's dark.
Anyway, I have a spot on my cheek.
Yeah.
And like, it really shouldn't bother me. It just does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then, so I keep saying I'm going to go get something done with that and get it lightened up. Cause
So a lot of times,
bothers
like chemical peel, doing like a chemical peel first.
Yeah.
And then like 4 to 6, because the chemical peel kind of brings that stuff to the surface and helps exfoliate it. And then the microneedling will help like break that stuff up.
Okay.
And so doing a combination of that kind of stuff, and then adding some medical grade skincare in there will help improve that quite a bit.
Now, where is your office located? I know we've talked about your hours, but where is your office located at?
I am located on Rivermont Avenue in Lynchburg. If you think about the little kind of mall at the end of Randolph College where Magnolias and
like Riverside Runners, Leowood Florist, Fur Kids, all that.
Yep. Right above Fur Kids on the second floor.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. My office faces the street. So I have a beautiful view of Rivermont Avenue from my office.
Awesome.
Very also, nice. You can hear the fire trucks, police cars.
Yeah. So we just moved our office in November to Langhorne Road, and the one thing I was not ready was the amount of fire trucks and ambulances that go by with their sirens going.
Well, you're near a hospital.
I know, but you just don't realize how often that happens.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So. Because it's almost like nonstop, and it's like, oh, where are they going? So we're constantly being nosy and trying to figure out where the fire trucks are going. So
parking is a little difficult on Rivermont Avenue. There's like 1 hour street parking, and but there is a parking lot behind the gallery right across from my office. It's called Gallery 720 that my clients' patients can park in.
Perfect. And it's not a bad walk across the street. There's
just
a traffic light and everything to help.
There's a traffic light, and use a traffic light because people drive so fast.
Yes, I know.
They want to. They do not want to slow down on that street.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's like it's a drag strip or something.
I know.
So, and what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to set up like a consultation or just want to talk to you, to ask questions?
There are several different opportunities. They can self-schedule on through my website, which is bestaestheticsmedspa.com. There's a link to my scheduling page. They can contact me through Instagram at bestaesthetics_medspa or on Facebook and just send me a direct message. And then also my telephone number, my office number is on my link in Instagram at 434-231-5599.
Perfect. And there's two questions I ask every guest that come on the podcast. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
I joined probably 3 months ago, I think, just right after I opened up.
Okay, perfect. And what do you think is the best benefit? I know you haven't been in very long, but what do you think is the best benefit of being part of the CVABC?
Well, I think the best benefit is that I've already met so many people and have made so many connections. Like right after I posted my first ad on the
members page,
I got several emails from people like saying, hey, I do this business, would like to collaborate with you and that kind of stuff. And have been able to talk to so many people, which has been so helpful. And also just not knowing that their businesses existed, which has helped me on like both ends of both jobs that I do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We definitely say we have a good community of business owners.
It is.
After a while, it's just, I say we're like family, but we truly do.
But we all get along.
To some degree.
We're like family, but we all get along.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
If you're out there listening and, you want to find out more, please contact her and she can give you that information. And, if you're looking for somewhere to go and get your aesthetics, reach out to Lisa.
Yes.
So we'll be back in just a minute after a quick message.
We'll have Matthew with us for the second half today from Davis Heating and Air. I'm going to call him Matthew today.
Matthew. Let's call him Matthew today.
Matthew Ray.
Oh, he called the middle name out. All right. We'll be back after a quick commercial.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Langhorne Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
Matthew and I are breaking it down to the music in here today.
Yeah, right?
So it's fantastic. That's a great commercial. So, and if you're listening to that and you're like, man, I wish I could be cool like Mike and have a commercial read by Mike and with cool music in the background, that opportunity is available to you. So for just $100 a month, you can be a podcast sponsor, and you can either have your commercial read by Heather, or if you prefer, me. And if you even wanted to come and do it yourself, that is a little extra fee there, but that is also a possibility. And we'll even help you write a script for it. So we'll just get information from you and kind of spell that out and make it nice and easy for you. So yeah.
It's a great way. I mean, it's a great way to market. It's an inexpensive way.
It is. And it's
market.
Embedded in the show so that, there's a history. You can go back and listen to 3 years of Talk Local to Me if you want to. The last year is especially great. But those commercials,
Allegedly.
The commercials are there, and they stay in the podcast. So, once it's recorded and it's there, you're getting not just the immediate live broadcast that you get then. It's also, the audience can go back and listen to it again and hear your commercial again. So it's a great deal.
So we have Matthew. He says he's going to call you Matthew.
It's Matthew today.
So with Davis Heating, Air, and Electrical. Cooling and electrical, sorry. Cooling, which everyone's going to need now because it's going to be getting hotter. So you're going to need to cool down. But you must be tired today. You're doing all the avenues of marketing today. Y'all have was it a commercial or living in the heart of Virginia?
Yeah. No,
or all of it?
No, living in the heart of Virginia hasn't been scheduled yet, but I just shot a commercial at 11 and had to be here by 12:30.
Oh, nice.
See, I'm going to need his autograph. I mean, he's
getting
famous.
We need you to sign at the bottom of this check right here. So, no, it's great to have you today. And so tell us a little bit about what you do with Davis Heating and Air. Excuse me.
Sorry, Davis Heating and Cooling.
Davis Heating, Cooling, Air, and Electrical.
So Richard's going to get you guys.
With Davis. Tell me what you do with Davis.
So with Davis Heating and Cooling and Electrical, I'm the electrical project manager.
Okay.
So, they hadn't had a dedicated electrical department up until now.
Right.
So we're kind of trying to, offer more services to our customers, pretty much anything electrical from small service jobs up to, wiring and addition, new construction. We are also a Generac certified dealer. We have 2 certified installers, so we can install your Generac, we can maintenance your Generac, all the things.
Yeah. Excellent. And so, a lot of people don't think like if you have a heating and air system installed and you're putting something brand new, either new construction or you've got an older house and you've decided like, I can't take this window unit anymore. I'm going to put an outside unit in. Sometimes you have to run electrical and sometimes it takes a whole separate company. But with this, you're able to kind of do it all under one roof if more is needed than what a typical heating and air.
Yeah, exactly. Our salesmen are great. So when they're out on the job, they're versed in both electrical and heating and air, so they can look at your electrical system. The biggest problem we see is capacity.
Right.
A lot of times you have to upgrade the service to a larger service because, gas furnaces or oil furnaces don't draw nearly the current that a standard electrical system does. So, but yeah, we can do all of that. We can come in a lot of times on the same day too. The electrical part's kind of sketchy because we have to schedule with the power company and they're kind of do their own thing. So. But yeah, as long as we can work out all the logistics, then typically we can come in, we can do it all in a day, maybe 2 days tops, and we're out.
So I'm gonna dish some dirt today, because of what you just said. So my son Dylan works with Matt at Davis, and
what? No, I'm just kidding.
Loves it, absolutely loves it. Would you like to know what his number one complaint is?
What's that?
AEP just is on their own schedule. So 100%.
And if you talk to any other electrician, actually not just AEP, anywhere in the world, they will tell you the same thing.
The power company is because they're such a big company and trying to, do all these things. Like, yeah, it's hard to get. They don't really see any job as more important than any other.
No.
Whereas some things can be time sensitive.
Oh yeah. The hardest part of my job some days is scheduling with building officials for inspections and trying to schedule with AEP and trying to make everything jive together so that we can do it all on the same day. And sometimes the work itself is the easy part of the job.
Right. So let's talk about the electrical side for a little bit. I know the biggest thing that you guys kind of do is new construction and things like that. But for For me, like just a regular residential person who needs electrical work, what's the smallest thing that you do? Like what, is there anything?
I will come to your house and change a light bulb if that's what you need.
I've got 3 that need to be done right now.
Sweet.
Yeah. No. Okay. So it could be anything from changing out a socket to be,
to wiring a whole house, installing a generator, upgrading electrical services, running circuits for, things that you may be adding equipment wise. Something else that I've been trying to work on here lately is I'm working on maintenance plans, because I know in the state of today's economy, people aren't really looking to make a lot of large purchases.
Right.
But, a lot of people are willing to invest in order to maintain what they have to avoid making those purchases in the future.
Right.
So we now offer a maintenance plan for your electrical system, just like we would for your heating and air system. We also have electrical inspections where we'll come out, we'll check all the accessible receptacle switches, light fixtures. We'll take the thermal camera and, shoot your panel with that, because loose connections will show up as hotspots.
Right.
Take the thermal camera. We can kind of look at that and make sure that all your connections are tight in your panel. Your typical breaker box has about a 25-year lifespan, but if things are loose and you have a lot of heat problems, then of course that cuts that drastically. So
right. So let me ask you another question. What kind of maintenance does your electrical system need? So you're kind of scaring me a little bit here, because
everybody that I know almost has that one switch in their house
but they don't know what it goes to.
They don't know what it goes to. Or you got that one receptacle that you have to like hold your mouth right when you plug stuff into it.
I thought it was code that every house had to have a switch that didn't really do anything.
It depends on who your electrician is.
Okay.
Not us. But no, that's and a lot of people, I don't like to fearmonger, but loose connections and wiring are what causes electrical fires.
Right.
So it's something that we like to look for. We test for grounding in all of your receptacles to make sure that it's properly grounded, so you don't have to worry about electrocution. A lot of times, if it's say you just moved in, or say you had someone else do some things, a lot of times your light bulbs is something as small as that are not rated for the appliance or for the fixture.
Right.
And if they're if it's an incandescent bulb and the wattage rating is too high, then that can actually overheat and cause a problem as well.
An electrical inspection could be really important, especially if you're buying a new home, because when we bought our house, we decided we were going to change out some light fixtures on the main floor, and had somebody come in and do that, and found all sorts of issues with it's if you have the experience and the knowledge to put up a ceiling fan, sure, go ahead and do it. But if you don't, get someone to help you. We had a ceiling fan that was literally there was a loose board on top of the drywall in the ceiling, and the ceiling fan was screwed into that board, and there was no box, and it was a small ceiling fan, to be fair, but still not safe. And we found all sorts of issues like that. So an inspection would be good, especially if you've got your power bill all of a sudden gets a lot higher and you're not sure why. Like you said, there's the money saving aspect to it. Because if you've got a hot spot in a breaker or something where it's leaking energy, is that the right word?
We'll use that.
Okay, we'll use that, leaking energy, or all sorts of different things. You've got issues that you might not be aware of. So it could be a safety thing as well as a money saving thing. So.
Absolutely. And also talking about, purchasing a home. Just this past week, actually, I did one of the electrical inspections for one of the realtors that we work with. And, she had a home that she was putting on the market, and she wasn't quite sure about the condition of the electrical because the previous owners had done a lot of their own work.
Right.
So she told me, she's like, hey, our electrical inspections are $59. And she's like, it's worth $59 to me as the realtor to go ahead and get you guys to come out and check it, instead of having a bunch of surprises come up last minute, when you go for your home inspection. Then it delays closing, and sometimes that can mess up financing deadlines and things like that. So it's just a whole lot easier to know, on the front side, what your problems could be. And then if you want, it gives you the opportunity to have them repaired before a home inspection, just to kind of cut all that mess out.
So the $59 the electrical inspection, you do that on top of a home inspection because it's a little more in depth than what a home inspector would do.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go, I wouldn't even necessarily say in depth. That also depends.
But it's more focused.
Inspector. But yeah, it's focused primarily.
And $59 is not bad. Home inspections are, they're totally worth it, but they can be a little bit pricier. But like you said, if you know you've got a home inspection coming up, if you go ahead and have that done for the $59, you can kind of know that there aren't any known issues there before the inspector comes out. And it could just be.
And if there are issues, it gives you the opportunity to fix them before, the 11th hour. And, you wind up costing yourself days, if not weeks, because everybody's backed up scheduling.
Or somebody backing out of the sale of a home.
Exactly. Yeah. Because there's a lot of things wrong that they didn't realize.
Yeah. So. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I learned something today.
Yeah. And we can also do the same thing for the heating and air system as well. $59 for a tune up. And we come out, clean the coils, and, check the system over, check all the electrical connections, check the Freon, all that kind of stuff. All the safeties, for the drains to make sure nothing floods when the air conditioning drain gets clogged, all those kinds of things. So
awesome.
It's a very, very small investment for peace of mind, even if you don't need anything done.
And let's be honest, the most important thing in my house, besides the refrigerator, is the heating and air. because if it's not 68 degrees, I don't want to live there.
Yep.
So
random fact, because I'm still here, guys, in case y'all didn't know.
I mean, we were just having fun.
Yeah, it's just
We get here.
So no, but random fact, completely random. Last night, for some reason, I guess maybe they knew you were going to be on the show. I don't know, but my YouTube pulled up this thing, so I learned how to wire. It's to scare you, but it was called like a Chicago 3-way or a California 3-way, which you're not supposed to do because apparently they're actually dangerous to have in your house if they're not done correctly, or like you think it's off, but it's not really off depending on how you've wired it. See, listen to me knowing things about electrical. So it's really random fact, but I think that's some of the things you find when you go into a home. The wiring has been done that way, and maybe something has been wired back in the day, and they, it was something that maybe back then was. People did it. That's how you did it. And now they realize it's dangerous. It could be causing potential shocks or things like that when you're, dealing with your electrical. So that's my random fact of the day.
Lynchburg area is full of, older homes too. So a lot of the homes still may have knob and tubing wiring going on.
Right.
They may not have GFCI receptacles in the proper places because that wasn't required when the house was built. So, you may not have any of that in your kitchen, bathroom, outside.
Or your house could be wired very weird, and you could have a bathroom receptacle upstairs that is GFCI that when it gets tripped, your front porch receptacles don't work outside that are also GFCI, because we have that issue at our house, and Dylan tracked it down and found it. And it was like, wait, they are opposite sides of the house. But anyway, so you never know how a house is wired when it's put up.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we can't catch everything with, the $59 inspection, but anything that's visible or glaringly wrong, obviously, and safety issues are pretty easy to spot as well without, opening too much stuff up. So
yeah. So you're not breaking down walls to find the...
No, and I'm not going to move your king size bed to check the receptacle behind it.
Right.
It is accessible, electrical devices, because we can't come in and move all your furniture around and dust behind it and check the receptacles too.
Right, but I think
not for $59 anyway.
Right. I think the coolest thing though is that you said about the thermal imaging to kind of find hotspots in the breaker box and things, because when power leaks, which is my new term, I'm just going to use that all the time. When power leaks, when you've got, you're losing power somewhere and it's something's malfunctioning, it's going to generate the heat. And of course, that's not also, like I said, you've got the extra cost of that power that's going nowhere. Plus that's, if it gets too hot, it could either, especially if it's running your heat and air, if that breaker decides it doesn't want to work anymore, then whatever it's connected to isn't going to work, and you actually run the risk of a surge or something.
Oh yeah, you could also, even if it didn't cause a fire, you could get, the circuit breakers in the panel could get hot enough to where it could actually damage the breaker panel. Then you have, a couple $1,000 repair that could have been alleviated for a $59 inspection.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. So, we were talking earlier today, summer's coming up. And with summer, I think sometimes you see the activity of storms, things coming into our area. And what are some things that you guys offer to people? I know you and I had kind of checked about like surge protectors and things like what's important for people to kind of look at prior to that storm season coming, where potentially you're losing power, your lights are going out, things like that.
Yeah, surge protectors are definitely my number one recommendation for storm season. It costs about $400 to have one installed in your panel, as long as you have the two spaces.
So you can have a whole house surge protector.
Yes. Yep. It installs in your breaker panel. It protects all the circuits. Like I said, it's about $400 as long as you have the two spaces available in the panel. If not, we can reconfigure some things and you still install it. It just costs a little more.
Right.
But I mean, if you save one TV during a power surge, it's
paid for itself
5 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something. Also, generators. I know there's one particular person at the table that always loses power.
I don't know who that would be.
I've been talking about a generator for years.
Wait, it's not me? It's you?
No, it's me. We lose power every time someone sneezes.
Are you talking to me?
No, Mike loses power every time.
Okay, I thought you were looking at me. I was like, I don't lose power that badly.
No.
So near Lincoln Middle Elementary, there's an older neighborhood back there, Cardinal Hills, and they have a lot of big trees. All of the power lines, I live in a bougie neighborhood, so all our power lines are underground. And I thought that was great when we moved in. And I'm like, why do all these people have generators? Well, 3 weeks in moving into the house, we found out why, because we lose power. Well, I think we lost power like 3 times in a week. And
But yeah, generators are another great thing for storm season. And Davis also offers us financing for those. So
that's excellent to know.
You can actually get that finance, so you don't have to cough up that whole $13,000 to $15,000 up front to get it installed.
Yeah. So how does the Generac work? Does it run off like gas line or
natural gas or propane?
Okay.
So
if you don't have a gas line to your house, you could get a propane tank.
Yep, you get a propane tank. Typically, you need a 250 gallon. It's probably going to be buried in your backyard somewhere. We actually just recently partnered with another another member, Blossman Gas.
Okay.
And we're going to be working with them in conjunction with, they're going to be who we refer for all of our propane customers.
Very cool.
Okay. Very cool.
So, and this is going to sound probably dumb because I don't know anything about generators or Generacs or any of that stuff. But like, so for instance, I would love to see my parents get something like that because neither of them are able to or should be. Now, we all, for those who've heard me talk about my mother, we know she would try. But like, I know there's like the gas generators you can go out and like start and, you have to lug them out of the shed and you've got to do all that stuff.
Exactly.
So you have the ones where it's much simpler. Like they just push a button
they do nothing. You do nothing. The power
when
the power cuts off, it cuts on automatically.
Cut off, yeah.
Okay. So yes.
You might blink for a second and then your generator fires up and it runs until the grid power is available again and then it automatically shuts back.
That's definitely something like I feel my parents need to look into because it worries me a lot of the times when they're home alone and they lose power and there's things that, my dad is now on permanent oxygen. And so if you don't,
he's got to have
his power going. He's got to have his BiPAP machine. He's got to have that, concentrator going. And if you lose that, then we risk potential
health issues.
Health issues. Yeah.
So I had a client that had a I don't know if it was a generator, it was a generator, and I was at their house and a storm came through all of a sudden and we were sitting there talking and watching the storm and all of a sudden she went, "Oh, we just lost power," and I'm like, nothing happened, like the lights barely flickered, and she's like, "I can hear the generator running," and I was like, "Oh, now I hear it." Like it wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. And it was amazing, and I mean she had a fairly large house and it everything was still on, so it's.
Yeah, and as far as the noise is concerned, you can even, you don't have to put them right beside the house. You can put them, way out in the yard and put a retaining wall.
Put them next to the neighbor.
Some kind of a sound block. Yeah, put them right next to your neighbor's fence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Face the exhaust towards their house.
And I would rather put up with a little bit of noise and still have all my things work than.
Hey, if your air conditioner is running and you're watching TV, you don't hear it running, I promise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think people never, you take for granted things like that, like electricity and things, because as soon as the power goes out, you're sitting here like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't charge my phone. I can't, is my food going to go bad? How long is my,
right.
How long am I going to be out of power for? Years ago when we had that derecho, I mean, we were out of power for 8 days. We lost everything in our refrigerator and freezer because we didn't have.
You guys are like us. You're on a well. So when you lose power, you don't have water either. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
You do. You lose everything. And it's, somewhat better in the summer when you have a little bit of heat because it's hot outside, but like in the winter and you're freezing. I mean, so I think if you look into something like that, it pays for itself in the long run.
Oh, absolutely.
If you really look at it and what your needs are.
Yeah. So the first time the power goes out and you don't lose power, you're going to feel like that was a great investment.
Yeah.
The first time you don't have to throw all the food away in your freezer and buy everything all over again from scratch.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, because we have a generator, but we have one of the old school, like my husband has to lug it out of the garage and hook it to, I think he has to actually hook it into our electrical box. I don't know what he has to do, but there's like some extension cord running up our driveway and it's a mess. But I mean, and it's not really enough to power up everything we need. He'll plug it in and get the essential going, the refrigerator, a light, the well, the things that we need to make sure we get by until the power comes back on. But definitely could probably use something a little bit better than lugging that thing out.
Yeah.
And I know a guy.
Yeah.
And with the financing available, that makes it an easier purchase too, because you can look at, and you were telling me about some of the financing options when we were at the ribbon cutting for the Liberty Creamery. So
yeah, and I know for we also offer the same plans for all of our HVAC systems as well, and I know that it's up to 5 years that you can finance it for. Yeah. It's all, of course, dependent on your credit and terms and all that good stuff. But yeah, that is an option, so that way you don't have to worry about that huge expense up front.
Yeah, excellent. So, what's the best way to get a hold of Davis? Heating, cooling, and electrical.
Good job.
See, we learned. We're quick learners.
Nailed it.
The best way to get in touch with us is call the office, 434-385-7039. We're also on Facebook. We were contemplating starting a TikTok page, but we're going to wait and see how all that turns out before we spend the time to do that.
Right.
Apparently, they voted to shut it down just a little while ago, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Shut it down or sell it, and I don't look for them to sell it. So.
Yeah.
Wait, TikTok and
TikTok.
Yeah, as in TikTok, as in like the app.
See, I'm so out of the loop today. I haven't been paying attention.
The only reason
I
know is
news
because I got an update on my phone when I was sitting out here waiting on Lisa to get.
Oh, okay.
I don't keep up.
But there goes our Talk Local to Me TikTok.
Right.
Yeah. Potentially, I was going to have Woody dress up like Sasquatch and jump around.
That'd be good.
So yeah. Now, and y'all are located. What service area do y'all work in?
Pretty much anywhere within about an hour of Lynchburg. So
Okay.
we have guys that'll go, obviously Smith Mountain Lake, Bedford County, Amherst, Appomattox. We go into a little bit into Nelson. Like we've got guys in Wintergreen today working. We
Okay.
do some Roanoke stuff if need be. So, pretty much anywhere.
Alta Vista.
Alta Vista, yep.
So all around?
all the A's, Amherst,
All the
Alta
A's.
Vista, Appomattox, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much anywhere within about an hour.
Awesome. So how long has Davis been a part of the CVABC?
I honestly don't know. Longer than I've been there, but I've only been there a little bit. I want to say it's been a couple of years now. They've actually been in business since 1979. So
Oh, nice. I'm older than
they
they are.
probably could have joined a little sooner, but
Probably.
Yeah. No, they have been
Is this
for a couple years, maybe 2,
probably.
I believe, about 2 years.
I'm going to say 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say 2.25.
I have no information,
We're
but
gonna
I'm just
vote.
going to say 2.5.
I'll look when I get back.
So-
We'll see who wins. But yeah, they have been a member for a while.
Yeah. And they're sponsored.
They are a sponsor of our organization this year, so that has been really nice.
It is.
Richard, he always likes to call and pick on me about different things, and I'm like, "You gonna be a sponsor? You gonna be a sponsor?" So finally got him this year.
There you go. There you go. And what do you think is the greatest benefit of being a part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
The people. Absolutely. The people, the coffee talks, the connections that you make. I mean, even if you don't, make a sale, so to speak, it's a great group of people.
It is.
The community that you guys have built in the business coalition is a great thing for anybody, not just small businesses. I mean, I've been members of lots of other groups that are not business related, and they didn't have the relationships in their groups that you guys have. So.
Right. And CVABC gives so much back to the community as well. I'm going to step away from host and just talk as a guest today. So done so much for the community, like, managing Centerfest parades, all that sort of thing. Like, it really, the healthcare, helping with the Healthcare Heroes parade, things like that. Like, it really does give a lot back that it doesn't really have to, so it's great. It's not just great for business, but great for the community.
Exactly.
You can steal that catchphrase, by the way.
Yeah, which one?
Not just great for the businesses, but great for the
Oh,
community.
okay, I'm
as
gonna
well.
steal it. I think it's I say this, and it's not to pat myself on the back, but the organization as a whole, we are about helping business, and I always tell people that's what we do. We grow and promote business in our area, but a lot of times our businesses need the community support.
They do.
So when we can jump in and host events or things that are going to bring the community out and then put these businesses in the forefront and kind of in their eyesight, and they can say, oh, you know what, I didn't know I needed this, but I need this. And so, but sometimes even just like, even with the Christmas parades or this putt-putt that we're doing, sometimes it's really just about showcasing, I think, well, not the train, but I think a lot of people, we get so bogged down in the day to day, and we're out there and we're making, we have to make money. You have to, keep your businesses afloat, and you have to.
And it's a lot of pressure.
It is. It's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure. So sometimes it's about doing things that are fun and stress-free, and just letting business owners be able to come out and, let their hair down a little bit with like-minded businesses that, care and really are there for the well-being of others.
And support each other through
Yeah.
each other through friendship and things like that, not just
Yep.
referrals and
And I constantly get
advice.
people that say, you're always on the go. You're everywhere. You're doing things. I went and did a presentation last night to Virginia Motor Vehicle Association. And I did it on a very last minute, and it was my anniversary. Was my husband enthralled? He was not. But again, it's just kind of like being out there and being present. The more I'm there, the more you're there.
right.
If that makes sense. The more our businesses are out there, the more I'm out there. And so I just love, I love our members, and I love the community and what we do for businesses. So
Yeah.
I'm
that's
just going
great.
to throw that out there, and I'm going to drop the mic. Let you take it away.
Okay. So you're going to drop Mike and then let Mike.
Let Mike pick it back up.
Yeah. So, so I agree. The community is probably it's probably the most popular answer that we get. That and billboards. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
billboards
a good
are
thing.
awesome too, but
Yeah.
the people are, it's no matter how big Lynchburg gets, when you're a member of a group like this, it always still has that small town feel.
It does.
Yes.
It does. Yeah. So hear that, Woody? It's small town feel. So even the big events or not that intimidating. So expect to see you at Coffee Talk on Friday.
The day Woody walks into a coffee talk,
like we're just gonna fall out.
is the day. Yeah.
And if it makes you more comfortable, Woody, you could just wear the Sasquatch suit.
Yeah, nobody would know.
Everybody would know who you were. It'd be great marketing, but you really wouldn't have to talk to anybody. You'd be like, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. So like it would work great.
It's weird not having to be able to answer us back.
I know. It's kind of nice though.
Yeah.
I could abuse him from afar.
Yeah, you could say anything you want right now.
I could. So
yes.
But I'm going to be nice. So.
All right. Well, with that, we encourage you to come out to some of these events. You heard Mike and I talk about them at the beginning of the show. Lots of things for you to do. And again, I'm going to stress this. You do not have to be a member to attend the events. We encourage you, if you're a business owner that just wants to come out and get connected, learn more about what we do before you make a commitment to being a member, please do. We encourage that. We want you to come out and see what we're all about and meet other people and just kind of, have a good time and before you put your money into it. So I encourage you to come out to any of the things we have. You can also go online, find out more about all of these at
cvabc.org. I hope you have a great Wednesday and we'll see you next week.